everybody, and welcome to Mrs. Disney Mom. Thank you for stopping by. First, I would like to shout out my other channel. I have a regular vlogging channel called Family of Hope Vlogs. If you just want randomness over there, we do a lot of WWE and we do some Disney over there, but we are just a random family vlogging channel. We've been there about 5 years. So shout out to my other channel real quick. And also, if you haven't yet, subscribe. Press the red subscribe button if you love all things Disney, because why not? So today I am talking about my top 5 favorites in each category. The first category is all the roller coasters and the fast rides. The second category is all the dark rides. And the third category is all the slow rides. So let's get started on what my 5 top favorite rides in each category are. And the first one we're going to talk about is the fast roller coasters, and in particular order. I have these in order for a reason. My number 1 most ultimate favorite ride is Big Thunder. I talked about this on my other video, that Big Thunder will always be my number 1 favorite. There is something just about the Western atmosphere, the rocks, the goat that you look at. There's something that you can always look at going up the tunnel with the explosions. I just think this is a great fast ride. It is a little bit longer than most of the other rides, and so I truly appreciate Big Thunder Mountain. Big Thunder Mountain is my number 1 favorite. My second favorite is Space Mountain. Space Mountain, how can you not love Space Mountain? Space Mountain is great. You can't see anything but stars. You can't see the track. You can't see the ride. All you see are stars, and you're flying through a bunch of stars, so you don't know you're going in circles a bunch of times. If I knew, I'd probably get sick. So that is something that I really like, is the surprise effect. I always know when the camera is coming up, so I always make funny faces. I like a lot of these. The bad part about Big Thunder is that they do not have a camera, which I believe they should have a camera. Especially around the GO area, they should put up a camera right there. That would be great to see. But that's the unfortunate part about Big Thunder. However, Space Mountain makes up for it, and that's why I love Space Mountain, is because I always go in and try a new picture. One time I was sleeping, one time I was picking my nose, one time I was on my cell phone looking bored. There's so many fun times with the cameras. Next I have is California Screamin, aka Incredicoaster. It will always be California Screamin to me. But Incredicoaster is so fun. I don't care what theming you put on the coaster, whether it's Incredibles or something else. That roller coaster is super fun, especially when you are in the back and you're getting all tossed to and fro, and then when you go upside down, you can see the rest of the cars go upside down with you. It creates this dizziness feel. I love Incredicoaster. It is so fast. It is so fun. I scream every single time, even though I know what to expect on the roller coaster. It is still California Screamin to me. I'm still screaming on the roller coaster. So it is an incredible California Screamin coaster. That is my number 3. My number 4 is Splash Mountain. It is not as fast as a roller coaster, but I put this in the category because there are times where you are dropping extremely fast, especially from the top. It is a thrill ride along with a dark ride. So I put Splash Mountain as my number 4 because it's still a thrill ride to me. This took precedence over Indiana Jones, because Indiana Jones is still very jerky for my back, and because my back can't handle so much jerkiness. Can't do the Matterhorn for that very reason. I've done the Matterhorn several times and I come back out with a hurt back. That's because I have sore muscles already. So Splash Mountain took precedence. I had to put that in there. That is my opinion. I think it is still a thrill ride. Splash Mountain is very fun. You get soaking wet on it. You can do all sorts of fun stuff with the picture taking as well. My last number 5 is Goofy Sky School. That ride scares the crap out of me. I almost want to crap my pants, because that's appropriate. I almost want to poop my pants, because every time you go around a circle at the top, it feels like the whole cart is just gonna fly off the top of the ride. And that ride scares me the most. That has to be one of my top favorite rides, because I love the thrill of it. I love the scareness of it. It is my 5 top rides of the thrill rides. Fast rides. So my second category is dark rides. My top 5 dark rides, you're going to be surprised at what they are. My number 1 favorite top ride will always be Ariel's Undersea Adventure. Yes, I said it. Nobody does a Little Mermaid as much as I do. Especially if there's a short line, I literally will walk back on multiple times. I love, and I will sing through it, I will dance through it every single time. Little Mermaid is one of my favorite Disney movies. I cannot get enough of Ariel's Sea Adventure. I can ride it so many times and never get sick of it. So that is my number 1 favorite dark ride. My number 2 is Pinocchio. I love the classic of the Pinocchio. I love the classic of the whale that comes up and jumps at you. I love the classic storyline. I love everything about Pinocchio. Pinocchio's always been my favorite. I love seeing all the textures and all the little woodworks and stuff, and when you go through certain parts of the ride. Pinocchio's just very close at heart because Pinocchio is one of my very first dark rides that I rode when I was little back in the 80s. Pinocchio's been around for that long, it's been around forever, and Pinocchio is just one of my ultimate favorites. I will never get sick of Pinocchio. So that's number 2. Number 3 is Alice in Wonderland. Alice in Wonderland is probably one of the longest, darkest rides. And for that reason alone, because you get to be on it a lot longer, I had chosen that for number 3. Alice in Wonderland is very cool. It goes through every piece of the storyline, every chapter. I love that you get to come out. There was one time that was so cool that we came out outside, the outside part on the rack. The parade was going by and I got to scream at Beauty and the Beast. They were standing and it was the princess float. And I'm like, Belle! And she looked up and went, hi. And I was like, oh my God, that was so amazing. I got to experience the parade at the same time as me being on Alice in Wonderland. That was so cool. So that became number 3 in my book. Alice in Wonderland will always be my favorite. I love the story. I love the movie. Everything about Alice in Wonderland. I do not like the remakes of Alice in Wonderland. I stick to the classics for the most part. Number 4 is Monsters, Inc. Please do not ever get rid of that ride. I beg you, do not ever get rid of that ride. Monsters, Inc. is so fun. I enjoy Monsters, Inc. My favorite part is when you walk into, or when you ride into the room with all the doors, and all the doors are moving all over the place, and there's Boo, and they're hanging from the rafters, and I just love Monsters, Inc., and I'm always quoting it as I drive by, and Mike Wazowski, you know, I'm always, why would you do this to me? I'm always quoting it as I go through the ride. Monsters, Inc. is one of my other favorite Pixar movies, so please do not ever get rid of Monsters, Inc. That is a great ride. I still do enjoy it to this day, and I will try to ride it as many times as I can while I am there visiting Disneyland. My number 5 dark ride, surprise or not, is Snow White. Why didn't you pick Peter Pan? Everybody loves Peter Pan. Well, let me tell you, Peter Pan is way too jerky of a ride for me. It is too fast for a less than 1 minute ride, and it's too long of a line, and I get whiplash on that ride. So that kicked it right out of my top 5. It would go after Snow White. Snow White is definitely one of my favorite movies. One of the favorite first classics that I've always loved. I'm a classic type of person, so I will always go with Snow White first. And then maybe I might pick Peter Pan. Peter Pan has a special place in my heart for the character, but that's another story another time. However, Snow White took precedence over Peter Pan. Snow White is so much fun. I love it when the queen turns evil and she looks beautiful and then turns around and scares you. Every time I'm like, oh, you know, it's a really fun ride. Okay. My next category is all the slow rides. That's all the boat rides. That's all the, you know, like Jungle Cruise and all that. So my number 1 favorite slow ride that I must have to do is Small World. I am a huge Small World. It's a small world after all. In fact, the last couple of videos, you saw me wearing my Small World ears. I didn't realize I should have worn them today. However, I love Small World. Again, it's a classic. It was, when it was first built, this was new high technology back in the day, and to see how people reacted from back in the day into today, it will always be an amazing classic. I can guarantee you now the people that complained about Small World are missing it right now due to the coronavirus and quarantine. And we're like, oh my gosh, these things that we used to complain about, we are missing. And I am really missing It's a Small World. I usually choose to ride It's a Small World later in the day. And because it's like a 12-minute ride, it gives me time to be able to rest my feet. That is why, one of the reasons why I love Small World, because it's a long ride. I can sit back in air-conditioned ride and just enjoy, whether the song's annoying or not, I enjoy every single detail of It's a Small World, especially at Christmas time, because I'm a Christmas fanatic, and so I get ideas on how to make Christmas stuff from the Christmas Small World. So Small World is definitely my number one. My number two is Jungle Cruise. Jungle Cruise has the jokes. The Jungle Cruise is amazing for all the puns and all the jokes, and that is why it is up there in the top of the list. Jungle Cruise is amazing. The skippers are amazing. They're so funny. They play on your jokes. They play on what you say, and they make jokes. They're so funny. Besides seeing the classic animatronics, the old animatronics that have been there for years. I almost said thousands of years, but that's what it feels like sometimes. But the old animatronics, when they were first there, I just think the Jungle Cruise is another classic. And like I said, I always choose the classics. I always love the older stuff because I came from the 80s and I got to see before it was built into new high-tech. I love high-tech. I love high-tech technology. That's who I am. However, the classics really bring back so many great memories. So the Jungle Cruise is always another favorite because I choose all these slow rides at the end of my journey at Disneyland because it helps me rest my feet, maybe in the middle of the day or at the end of the day where I can sit and rest my feet. So Jungle Cruise is another long one that I can rest my feet on. Number three is the horse-pulled trolleys, especially when your feet are hurting and you don't want to walk back and forth between Main Street and the hub. And so I jump on the horse-drawn trolleys. I love the horse-drawn trolleys just to see the old-fashioned classic horse just pulling the trolley is my favorite. That is why it is I said number three. That is why it's my number three choice. Is you get to have some of the older cast members being able to give you a little bit of a tour and a little bit of a history of downtown Washington. Oh my gosh, downtown Disney. They give you a little bit of history of downtown Disney, Main Street, and some of the historical events that happen here at Disneyland. So I really truly enjoy the aspect and everything about like the horse and everything that comes with the horse-drawn trolley. I consider that as a slow ride because it technically is. You're riding slowly down Main Street through the hub and the Main Street. So number four is the train, the Disneyland train. If I really need to sit again to rest my feet, is to get on that train and just take a journey throughout all of the lands, all four of the lands, and have history told to you, a storyline told to you as you are journeying throughout and if you want to go from land to land to land, you don't have to walk. You can just get on the train and go to a different land. So there's something so special. I remember my first time on the Disneyland train back in 1987. I remembered the dinosaurs. The dinosaurs were the most exciting, memorable part for me. The dinosaurs will always be the best part of the train, and that stuck with me my whole entire life, and I love the train dinosaurs. And last but not least is the monorail as number five. Once again, if I want to take a trip and get some historical aspects of Disneyland, the monorail is another good one. It takes you all the way to downtown Disney, all the way back around to where in Tomorrowland, and I like the monorail, and I like taking the full trips. If I want to stay on, I could take as many trips as I want to on the monorail. And to I have a video somewhere, I think on my other channel, of me sitting in the very back of the monorail where you can see out the end of the windows, and that was a very cool perspective I got to go on when Sarah Romy was part of Fresh Baked Disney at the time. She's no longer part of Fresh Baked Disney, but I got to ride with Ian and Sarah on the monorail with Fresh Baked Disney, and that was a very cool experience. I got to ride and I got to experience it on the monorail. Monorail is another one where you can rest your feet and enjoy the views of Disneyland, and that's why I chose that one. That is not necessarily a slow one. They do go a little bit faster, but I consider that, in my opinion, kind of a slow ride, where you can sit and rest your feet and enjoy the scenery like the rest of my choices. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My battery's about to die, so I'm going to say goodbye. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, thumbs up. Don't forget to press the red subscribe button and also the notification bell so when you get notified when I upload or go live. I hope you guys are enjoying all these videos. We'll see you guys all later. Ciao, bye.